What's up everybody, I'm HoopsandHipHop and we are back for some more odd facts, this time about the Pokemon professors. The professors are clearly immensely important to the games because not only are they the very first characters you meet in any of the main series games, but they also give you your starter Pokemon and act as a mentor, giving you encouragement and valuable information throughout your journey. Each and every one of them is certainly an outstanding citizen, but that doesn't mean they're not a little odd and quirky every now and then either. That's the side of them we're going to be highlighting in this video, so without any further ado, let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, so starting off the video, we have a minor development error. If you talk to Professor Oak in Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver and have him check the status of your national Pokedex for you, and you've caught at least 484 of the 493 Pokemon available, he will say, "Meeting you is something I will cherish all my life long." Except there's a slight problem with this sentence because he actually says, "Meeting you is something L will cherish all my life long," because in the text box, a lowercase l is used instead of a capital I. Throughout this series, we've covered several facts from the manga, and I have one involving Professor Elm to share with you guys today. In the manga, just like in the games, Elm decides to trust Gold with taking care of the Togepi egg because it hasn't been able to hatch while just sitting in Elm's lab. However, while the egg is able to hatch into Togepi, just like it is in the games, Elm becomes furious with Gold because due to Gold's habit of visiting arcades while incubating the Togepi egg, Togepi actually learned how to play dice, pool, and poker, making Elm really mad at Gold for basically turning Togepi into a delinquent. One of the major professors outside of the main series games is Professor Willow, who of course is the professor of the immensely popular Pokemon Go. Despite Pokemon Go not having a story, and obviously there's not much to speak of in terms of a plot, Professor Willow actually has a lot of backstory specified about him. For example, his mother researched Pokemon ecology and his father was fascinated by the outdoors, which inspired him to become interested in Pokemon habitats and exploring as well. On top of this, before setting out to explore on his own, he also worked in a lab studying under Professor Oak. And finally, Professor Willow's dream is to explore undiscovered places and examine new and undiscovered Pokemon in their natural habitat. This is likely alluding to how Pokemon Go tends to bring new generations of Pokemon in waves instead of all at once. However, I can't help but feel like this could be alluding to actually new discovered Pokemon, i.e. Generation 8, so that's definitely something to look forward to. Also, in case you were wondering, all of these facts came from the official Pokemon Go Twitter account. Getting back into the main series, there's actually a couple of professors that share a few distinct similarities, and that would be Professor Sycamore of Kalos and Professor Rowan of Sinnoh. Starting off, Sycamore actually studied under Rowan in Sinnoh when he was young, and they are the only two professors whose lab is outside of the starting town, excluding Kukui since there isn't technically a starting town in Sun and Moon. Finally, Rowan also studies Pokemon evolution, while Sycamore studies Mega Evolution. Getting into the anime for a little bit, here is one that is odd and just a little bit frustrating. Professor Oak's original voice actor, Stuart Zagnut, also just so happens to voice Cedric Juniper in the black and white anime. However, the reason why this is kind of weird is because before this, 4Kids actually had a contract dispute when they lost the contract to dub Pokemon, and this resulted in basically every single one of the characters' voice actors being changed to someone else. So in a nutshell, many of the original voice actors for Pokemon were replaced because they couldn't work out the contract to continue their work with the new dubbing studio, which makes it kind of odd that Stuart Zagnut was able to come on with this new dubbing studio to voice another character, but they couldn't bring him on to voice Professor Oak, who was still in the anime at this time. This, coming from someone who really does not like the new voice acting, really frustrates me a lot. Hopping back into the games again, Professor Oak, Professor Elm, Professor Juniper, and Professor Kukui all have Easter eggs within their official artwork. Oak has red and blue pens in the pocket of his coat in his new Let's Go artwork, likely referencing the original Generation 1 games Red and Blue. Elm has red, blue, and green markers in his book, which are most likely referencing the different types of starters that he gives out along with the rest of the professors. Juniper also has a green skirt with red earrings, which could possibly signify the original Pokemon Red and Green, since Black and White were kind of a soft reboot of Generation 1, however, this one is a little more unsure. And finally, Professor Kukui's hat also has a rainbow, referencing not only Hawaii as the Rainbow State, but the fact that Sun and Moon's codename was Project Rainbow. In the previous Odd Facts video where I talked about the rivals, I talked about how Steven mentions in the game that he once long ago battled with Alon, who is a character exclusive to the anime, giving credence to the idea that maybe the events of the anime take place before the events of the games in the same universe. With that said, there is further evidence that backs up this idea, and that Dr. Fuji, who is the person who created Mewtwo and is somewhat of a Pokemon professor himself, is relatively young in Pokemon the first movie when he appears, while Mr. Fuji in the games, who was once known as Dr. Fuji when he founded the Pokemon laboratory on Cinnabar Island, is likely the same character because they have much the same role, and it's very likely that Mr. Fuji is the person in the games who created Mewtwo thanks to all of the eluding of Mewtwo in the Cinnabar Mansion. Yes, I am aware that Dr. Fuji died at the beginning of the movie in the anime, however, just the simple fact that there's multiple pieces of evidence that kind of support this idea, as ridiculous as it might be, is just kind of interesting and noteworthy to share. Keeping it in the anime, there is a very minor professor named Professor Westwood V who appears in the episode The Evolution Solution. According to various sources, including the Japanese version of the official Pokemon Trainer Club, a relative of Professor Westwood's is actually responsible for the invention of the modern Pokeball through his research that was done in the year 1925. Next up is a rather fun fact about my personal favorite professor, Professor Rowan. Rowan is definitely seen as a no-nonsense and serious type of professor, however, it seems like he has a bit of a sweet tooth. If you look in his refrigerator in his lab at the beginning of the game, the text box will describe how it's full of sweets. Later on, if you talk to him at the Veilstone department store after beating the game, he will seem upset that Rage candy bars are still sold out. There is also an instance of his sweet tooth in the manga where, while on his way to an important conference in Canalave City, he stops on the way for none other than, you guessed it, sweets. And to round off this video, one of the most iconic traits of the Pokemon professors is that they are the people who give you your starter Pokemon. However, the last 4 generations of Pokemon feature at least one game where you don't even receive the starter from the professor. Starting in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, you did not receive the professor because he accidentally left his suitcase there and did not intend to give you a Pokemon at that time. In Pokemon Black and White 2, you actually receive your starter Pokemon from Bianca and not necessarily Professor Juniper herself. In X and Y, it's much the same situation where you receive your starter from your friends rather than getting it from Professor Sycamore, and even more ironic is that he gives you the Kanto starters but not the starters from his own region. And finally, in Sun and Moon, you receive the starters from Hala rather than Professor Kukui. Additionally, while we're on the topic, it's actually interesting to note that there are 3 different instances in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, Diamond and Pearl, and Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, where the reason that you even receive a Pokemon in the first place is the result of some kind of Pokemon attack, either attacking you or attacking the professor. And there we have it, everyone. Now, just like every other set of characters we've covered in this series, the professors are such a diverse and interesting set of characters, and they've definitely been a fan favorite for the entire time they've been around. If you guys enjoyed the video though, be sure to give it a like and let me know in the comments below which of these facts you enjoyed the most. And let me know if there's anything you'd like to see me cover in a future Odd Facts video. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe for more Pokemon content every week, and follow me on Spotify as well for my Pokemon remixes, as well as for a chance to win a copy of Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee when the games are released. With all that being said though, I will be back with another video on Tuesday, so be sure to hit that notification bell so you can know as soon as it goes live, and until then, as always, I will smell you guys later.